You live in a world of illusions. You might think you live in reality, but in actuality, you spend your days trapped in a world of your own making, trapped by your fears, your beliefs, your own vivid imagination. A world so real you believe everything it tells you, and so you cannot break free. I'm Nicola, and I too live in a world of my own illusions, of my own making. Like a fish in water, I can't see the blindingly obvious things in front of me sometimes and just unquestionably accept this world that I'm creating for myself. So I'm going to share with you 10 of the illusions that you are creating that are keeping you trapped so you can start to see them, change them, and finally break free from them. But remember, so long as you buy into these illusions, you will remain trapped. Like in The Wizard of Oz, you have to pull back the curtain and see them for what they really are. You have to see that they are not inherently true. It's only your belief in them that makes them so powerful. When I got into the field of self-development in my 20s, I did the same thing that so many people do. I started to find all the things that were wrong with me, all the things that were broken and needed fixing, and finding all the things that would fix these problems with me. And this comes from the illusion that I am broken and need fixing. And this leads us into shame, and it can also lead us into hiding our true selves. We might also believe that something is wrong with me. And the cure for this illusion is self-acceptance, 100% unconditional self-acceptance of us exactly as we are, right here, right now, with all of our flaws. When we accept ourselves, we break this illusion. I remember deciding when I was about 9 or 10 that everyone was inherently good, that even though sometimes people would do terrible things, that underneath all of that was a good person trying to express themselves, and they were just out of balance, and that's why they were doing those things. But there are some people who buy into the illusion that I am a bad person, and this illusion can lead them to act out, to do terrible things to other people, or to hate themselves, to feel buried in self-loathing and hatred. They might believe at their core that they are evil and flawed and unrepairable. And the cure for this is to understand that all of us have inside of us both good and bad, like the Cherokee tale about the two wolves. Inside of us there are two wolves. One of them is good and kind, and the other is angry and destructive. And both of them are trying to take control of us. So which wolf will win? The answer is the one that we feed, the one that we give our energy to. So we have good and bad inside of us, but which of that comes out is up to us. I've spent a fair amount of my life hiding the real me away from the world, feeling like there were parts of me that people would judge or criticize, and I just didn't want to have to deal with that. And this comes from the illusion that I am unlovable, and this illusion leads us to act in desperate ways, to cling on tightly to any shred of acceptance or love from other people, to feel like maybe we could be lovable. We might also believe I will always be alone, I'm a burden to others, people won't like the real me, or I'm boring or uninteresting. And the cure for this illusion is self-love. And to understand self-love, we look at how do we express love to other people. When we love someone else, we accept them unconditionally. We take care of their needs. We are kind to them. And so we need to do the same things for ourselves. We give ourselves that acceptance, that love, and that kindness and that care in order to break out of this illusion and give ourselves the love that we so desperately want. I have pretty high standards for myself, and I apply those to other people, but even more so to myself. I hold myself to a very high standard, and this comes from the illusion that I am not enough. And this illusion leads us to perfectionism, where we try to do everything to impossibly high standards, to do everything just so that maybe then we will be enough, we will be okay, everything will be okay. We might also believe I'm too much, or I'm too sensitive, or I'm too this, or I'm too that, or I'm not qualified enough, the imposter syndrome that we talk about, or I have to be perfect, I have to have everything done absolutely perfectly, no mistakes, there's no room for error, or to believe that I always mess up, that basically I can't measure up, even though I have these high standards, I can't measure up, or I should have this figured out by now, why am I not learning this as fast as I am supposed to? And so the cure for this illusion is to celebrate progress, to recognize that these standards that we're holding ourselves to are unrealistic, and to instead focus on the progress that we've made, look at how far we've come, to not look at where we fall short, but to look at how far we have progressed thus far and to expect that we can continue to progress. I have a great deal of trouble sitting still. I really feel like as soon as I sit still, I need to find something to do. There's something I need to do. And I remember learning this in my childhood. If I sat still, I was given something to do. And this behavior ties into the illusion of I have no value. So we're looking for external ways to measure our value, to say I've done this and therefore I have value. We might also believe I have nothing to offer, or I don't belong, or I'm only worth something when I'm contributing or being productive or doing something. And so the cure for this illusion is to understand that we are worthy by existing. We don't have to prove our right to exist. We don't have to defend the fact that we are here. We have a right to exist because of the very fact that we are alive. And this one can be a little bit hard to swallow, but it is really important to understand that we don't have to prove that we have value. We have value by our very existence. I also found it really helpful to understand that many of the great minds of the past really baked in rest into their days. They would spend a few hours working, having amazing thoughts or creating amazing inventions, but then they would also have distinct periods of rest on a regular basis. It was baked into their routines. They understood they didn't have to be doing something all the time in order to be valued. They could be valuable and have rest, and it was all part of the package. My husband struggles to ask for what he needs. So long as he's taking care of everyone else, he feels fine. But when he needs something, he really struggles with that. And this ties into the illusion of I don't matter. And this illusion leads us to feel helpless and to act like a doormat or a people pleaser, to always be feeling like we don't matter in some way. We might also believe I can't ask for what I need. Other people are more deserving than I am, or people will abandon me if I ask for what I need. And the cure for this illusion is self-care, to give ourselves what we need, to actually show ourselves that we matter. And I've got a guide with a bunch of different self-care activities that you can use. But by taking that time to actually take care of ourselves and meet our needs and make sure we are optimizing our well-being and our health and our enjoyment of life, then we can break free from this illusion that we don't matter. I grew up with a mother who had a poor me mindset, and I'm sure you've been around people like this who have this sense that the world is against them and it's really doing everything wrong by them. And this comes from the illusion of I am powerless. And this illusion creates this victim mentality, this idea that the world is acting upon them and all these terrible things are happening to them. And there is this victim state that they are in because they don't have any power. We might also believe I'll fail if I try, or I'm already behind, so what's the point? The cure for this illusion is taking responsibility, is understanding that we do have power in our own lives to change our experience. We may not be able to change what the world does or what other people do, but we can change how we see things, how we respond to things, and what we do, and how we perceive things ends up being our experience. And so we have all the power in the world in our hands to change our experience, and that helps us break out of this illusion. I've spent a fair amount of time on high alert, feeling like something bad was about to happen, like maybe things are okay now, but as soon as the next moment comes, something terrible might happen. And this comes from the illusion that I am not safe. This leads to this hypervigilance, but also trying to control circumstances to feel safe, to feel secure. You might also believe it's not safe to be seen or to be wealthy or to be healthy or any of the things that you want. It's not safe to have those things, to have that experience or to be that thing. But underneath this is this core belief that I am in danger. There is some threat to my life. I am not safe. And the cure for this illusion is to find safety, which might be easier said than done, but it's about finding moments of safety, about finding reference experiences where we feel safe so that we can actually know that, yes, it's possible to feel safe, and to be able to look at our circumstances around us and say, actually, I might feel unsafe, but right now I am not in danger. And I found that titration can be a great way to work through some of these fears around not feeling safe. And I've got a whole video on that you might want to watch just to understand how you can try and find these moments of safety and release these fears about being constantly in danger so you can break out of this illusion. I've also spent a fair amount of my life trying to control everything, trying to make everything happen the way that I think it should happen. And this comes from the illusion that I can't trust life. And when we have this illusion, it leads us to try and control everything, but also to manipulate people and circumstances so that things turn out the way that we think they should turn out, whatever that is. We might also believe that the universe is against me. We might believe that we're stuck with bad karma. We might buy into this idea of scarcity, that there's not enough to go around, that I have to get my piece of the pie, but it's up to me. And the cure for this illusion is gratitude. To actually start to appreciate the things in our lives that are going well, to recognize that there are many things in our lives that are actually turning out quite well, and to see abundance everywhere, to understand that when you start to look, you will find abundance everywhere. It does my head in as a gardener to look at the abundance that is in my garden, to be able to plant a seed and have food come out of that, to see a plant that produces hundreds or thousands of seeds and understand that each one of those seeds can produce another whole plant that can produce hundreds and thousands of seeds. To understand there is abundance and good things everywhere if we just start to look for them, and that can free us from this illusion. I've also struggled to trust the future, to trust that things are actually going to turn out okay. And this comes from the illusion, I will never be okay. And when we have this illusion, we tend to drasticize and catastrophize, which is something that our inner critic, that negative inner voice, loves to grab onto and do to the extreme, to imagine everything being so much worse than it actually is. And we might also believe things will always go wrong, or nothing ever works out for me, or all of these things that create this idea that nothing's ever going to be okay for me. And the cure for this, for me personally, has been to repeat to myself the idea that I was okay yesterday, I'm okay today, and I will be okay tomorrow. When I first started saying this, I really struggled with that last phrase. I was willing to accept that I was okay yesterday and I was okay today, but there was no guarantee that I was going to be okay tomorrow. And this is one that we sort of have to take on faith. We don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but as we say this, and I know as I've said this, my body has started to accept the idea that given that I was okay yesterday and given that I'm okay today, there's a pretty good chance that I'm going to be okay tomorrow. And by reinforcing this idea that I actually will be okay tomorrow, we can start to break away from this illusion. So now you can see 10 of the illusions that are keeping you trapped and how to cure them, so you can break free of their suffocating limits and not be so convinced by how real they seem to you, and to understand why it's not life that's letting you down when you feel disappointed. Watch this video next. Got questions? Comment below, and I'll see you in the next one.